How you doing, Josue?
Well, thank you.
When you think of Giovanni Bottesini, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
First thing that comes to my mind is just the association of beautiful Italian lyrical music, beautiful melodies associated with opera singing.
Do you think that has anything to do with the rarity of an operatic low voice being a solo instrument?
As a matter of fact, it has to do with the imitation of the voice of the human voice, applied to an instrument. In this case, the double bass. That's what Bottesini is associated with, making instrumental playing very resembling a lot the opera singing.
Well, what is it that when you were a bass player, the name Bottesini resound a lot in your daily practice?
Well, when Bottesini came to in the history and development of music, he put the double bass in perspective, like not anymore as a accompanying instrument, but more soloistic, not necessarily on the low range, but also on the high range. And he basically took off after Domenico Dragonetti, another great Italian bass player, where Bottesini just took from where Ramirez left, just took off and developed the double bass technique and the double bass playing to a level that was very high, that he was in fact nicknamed the Paganini of the double bass, because he was very virtuoso playing.
Let's see, so Paganini to violin is Bottesini to bass playing?
Exactly.
That's a good comparison. What time period in history can we place Bottesini?
Just probably the late Romantic, where all these very romantic Italian operas are taking place, Verdi, Puccini. As a matter of fact, Bottesini was asked to conduct the world premiere of Aida in Cairo, Egypt.
Okay, Josue, how did Bottesini learn how to play music?
At his very young age, when he was a child, he studied rudiments of music with his daddy, Peter. He was a clarinetist in town, in Crema, Italy, and he was learning just basic theory with him, and he was more string-oriented, but Giovanni Bottesini was more string-oriented. He was taking lessons with a very renowned violinist in his town. So one was for double bass and one was for bassoon. By the age of 15 and 16, he was writing music for the double bass that only he could play at that time, nobody else. He was playing amazingly.
Can you give us some more information about his career later on?
Later on in his life, Bottesini started touring all over the world. Spent a few months in Cuba. He came to America. He came to America twice. Played a recital in New Orleans. And many other important cities, you know. And wherever he went, he was just a sensation because of his amazing playing. Many people, you know, have never heard high notes on the low register of the double bass, you know, performing. And he was the master of harmonics and fast passages. He did a lot of composing, not only instrumental music, but also opera. He wrote an opera called Christopher Columbus in Cuba, for example. And sadly, a lot of this music is missing. If you go and look at the catalog of his music, you'll see that he composed so much music. And we hardly have his works. And in the world of the double bass players, his music is daily bread.
Do you think Bottesini used himself as the instrument for performance when composing a lot of his work?
I will say, I will dare to say that he used his double bass to compose, but I will also dare to say that he probably didn't use anything, you know, like Beethoven. Not necessarily listen to the notes on the piano, but just write out of his heart, write out of his mind.
How can you describe Bottesini's music?